Hello, welcome to Tony's Bonsai. Today I'm going to be working on a juniper. I think it's a green carpet juniper, I'm not certain, but let's take a closer look. I can't recall exactly when I did my first work on this. I think it was probably last winter. So around a year ago I got this from a garden centre and I did some basic styling on it, removed some branches, and now it's time to add a bit more wire and clean up and shorten some of these. I'm not doing any root work at this time of year, but there's lots of healthy roots there. Bottom's a bit soggy. I think this is planted in a mixture of garden soil and compost, so it's not great. I just want to clear some of this. That's why I've got all this weed at the top. This I can never remember the name of it. Something wart. Now I'm just quickly getting this out of here if I can. It's kind of grown in and around the roots. But I just want to get rid of this soggy mass on the top. Back when I bought this must be from last year. I wasn't using proper bonsai soil, so look at that. Look how soggy that is. Ugh, that's not good. So I'm not doing a, as I say, I'm not doing a repot on it, but I need to get rid of some of this soggy stuff. Otherwise these roots will sit in this all year, all winter now, with it being damp outside, and they'll just start to rot away, which is no good. Oh no. So I'm doing the same as I always say. I'm not doing any root work and then I end up doing the roots, but this is an emergency because these roots are absolutely sopping wet. Now, I'm not doing any more than this. These little white things, they're weeds. So there's a few of these weeds, the roots off weeds growing down. And I'll just leave it like that. So I'm not even going to tackle the awkward part here. I'll show you what's going on at the base of the tree. You can see here we've got some really twisted old roots that are awful. They need cutting off. These roots down here need sorting out, and I will do that, but I'll not do it now. It's the wrong time of year. This is just a bit of an emergency job now, just to get some more free draining soil into this so that it doesn't rot. If I'm honest, I'm a little concerned about this tree because I know a lot of my other junipers will be in a similar state, and I had to basically get all this soil out of here. It was just absolutely sopping, and seeing as I've gone this far now, I think I may as well just at least reposition a few of these roots, because I've almost bare rooted it by the time I've got all that soggy soil out. So I'm thinking, while I'm doing it, if I can just move some of these roots around, I might be able to possibly deal with the root issue. So here I've managed to free this root that's this awful one, and it's not got that much on it, which is great news. It's got hardly any roots attached to it. Well, it's got some, but it's got to go. You can't have a root as bad as that in the composition. It just, the tree will never look any good. So I'm cutting that off there. I'll try and get in and cut it off really cleanly. Partly because it'll look better, but also it'll help it to heal. This root here is coming completely upwards, so that's another one. It's got to go. Get rid of that. And I'm not doing any more to that. I've already done plenty. But it needed to be done. As I say, it was absolutely sopping wet with soaking water, and it would not have done well at all. So, you know, yeah, I've bare rooted it, but if that makes it now, that's got a chance going forward. What I won't do is do any work to the top of the tree. The planned work that I had has to be put on hold now. I'll be putting it back just in the same pot. Give it lots of chance to grow, and you know, with a bit of luck, you know, I'm not cutting these long roots off. I'm leaving everything that I can in place. Just spreading those roots into this very free draining soil. And I'll try and work some of this. This is just a mixture of pine bark and perlite. So there's no compost in this, there's no grit in it. So it's very, very light, very free draining. So I'm trying to work some of this down now into the roots. And with a bit of luck, you know, this will get through the winter. I did quite a lot of root work like this to some of my trees last December, January time, just because I needed to kill time in the evenings, and this was just a perfect distraction for me. So I wasn't even that concerned about the health of the trees really. I was just more concerned about me enjoying working on some junipers. And that's the result. Interesting. In order that it sits still, you know, and doesn't move about too much, I decided to just run a piece of wire through the bottom of the pot. So I'm just pushing the tree down. Everyone knows what this is. I won't go through it because it gets quite tedious. People explaining the same thing again and again. But I'm glad I did this. I think it'll give it that extra chance of surviving, because at least it should just be sat in there. This will grip those roots down. Yeah, I can feel it pulling nicely there. That's good. And so now it's nice and tight. It's a shame I couldn't work on it, because I picked this one to work on because it's got some nice structure to it, and I want to wire this branch upwards like this. So I want that coming up in this direction so that it's got a bit more height to it. But I'm not even going to do that now. I don't want to stress the tree anymore. I just want to leave it as it is, let it get through the winter, hopefully, and then, you know, that's the kind of job I can do next summer now. That juniper has left me a little concerned, because I know a lot of my junipers are in that state. They're still in sort of the original compost from the garden centre, and I often just added some extra compost to it, so it is just in almost peat. And I picked this one up, and it weighs a ton. It's absolutely sopping wet, and I'm sure that it's going to be the same thing for, yeah, it is, it's absolutely sopping. This is where I'd like to reach out to the knowledge of my subscribers. Do you think that this is a good example, this tree? Should I now just leave that as it is for the winter, just in soggy, wet soil? Or should I do a repot now. I'd love to hear what you think. I genuinely, I just don't know what will be in the best interests of these junipers. They're all different varieties. There's mint juleps, green carpets, common junipers, all different types, and they're all kind of looking like this. I just thought I'd check one more. This is a common juniper. It's not quite as wet, but it's pretty soggy down that bottom, you know, so that people can answer with sort of full knowledge. We don't tend to get it very cold up here in the north of England. It's generally windy and wet. There'll be a lot of rain, but we occasionally, once every 10 years, it might go to -10. But most years we just get a bit of morning ground frost a few times a year, and that's it. So what should I do? You know, let me know. Do I need to get them out of this damp stuff, or can I just leave them and we'll see. Fortunately, I'm not too attached to them. I've only had them a year, these trees, so it's not like they particularly have any great meaning to me. So it's been an interesting video. It's not been the video that I thought it was going to be. I thought I was going to do a beautiful style on that tree and turn it into like something that looked like it's on Bonsai Mirai. Instead, I've just hacked it to pieces. But, you know, that's the early stages of bonsai. I'm still learning, obviously, and 12 months ago I didn't even know to put them in proper soil, so let's just take it from here. But as always, thanks for joining me. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon.